How's it going? I'm in downtown Richmond and I drove down here to visit the home of John Marshall, our 4th Supreme Court Justice. And pretty crazy to see a house like this in the middle of the city. And yeah, so this thing was built, it was completed 1790, and he lived here until he passed away in 1835. And I actually came out here last year. It was one of the first videos I ever made, and it wasn't a very good one. I took it down. And yeah, it was just a lot of shaky footage of me walking through the house. Also, it was when all the rioting and all that stuff was going on last summer, and they had actually taken items from the house, put it down in the basement. And yeah, I'll walk over here, show you the statue, and it's to commemorate the first military program in a public school. And it was at the John Marshall High School, which was here. And pretty impressive looking building. And this place was sold to the city in 1909, and they were actually going to they were going to tear it down, build a high school right there, but a preservation group stepped up to save it. So yeah, that's cool. And we're here up on Shockoe Hill, the old part of Richmond, where kind of all the well-to-dos live. And let's see, maybe 5-6 blocks down is going to be the James River. And I can also tell you some of the other prominent people who lived up here on the hill. John Wickham, who his house is part of the Valentine Museum, which is a block over, 3 blocks down. John Brokenborough, which lived in the house which became the Confederate White House. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy to try to picture this place as it was back then. But and this was originally 4 lots, so it pretty much took up the entire block. And yeah, he bought this house because the Virginia State House is just on the other side of Broad Street. He could walk there, I guess, every day to work. All right, I bought my ticket. I've got about 25 minutes to spare. The ticket was $10, to let you know. And yeah, I'm gonna kill some time. I'm gonna walk over to the John Wickham House, just take a look at it, and just kind of scope it out, I guess, because I'll probably be coming down to do a video on it. So here we go, the Wickham Valentine House. Attorney John Wickham lived at this location beginning 1790. Prominent lawyer. He helped defend Aaron Burr against treason. Wickham lived here with his second wife and 19 children. More than 15 slaves worked here. Yeah, pretty busy house. So yeah, the Valentine Museum, I'll come back and I'll check this place out at a later time. Man S. Valentine, the creator of Valentine's Meat Juice Health Tonic. Okay. Edward V. Valentine had a sculptor studio here. And yeah, there's a big collection of just historical items from Richmond. And I'll come back to a video on it at a later time. Over here it says this is the Branford Cecil House, 1840. Yeah, it's a pretty neat looking house. Neat ironwork. And Decatur Davis House, 1879. And yeah, it's part of the VCU campus, it looks like. Lehigh House. And I'll just take a quick look at these. Up there it says Sheltering Arms Hospital, 1894 until 1965. The Grant House. So William Grant lived here. He was a prominent Richmond tobacconist. Alright, built the place 1856. He acquired it. It was part of John Wickham's estate. And yeah, 1892 it became that hospital. So and I don't see any name on this building, just another VCU building. All right, I'm gonna head back over and get ready for my tour. All right, very hot out here. And while I'm headed back to the house, I'll just tell you a few random things about John Marshall. And he was the oldest of 15 kids. He was born out in Fauquier County, born in a little log cabin, then moved to a house called the Hollow, a little further out in Fauquier. Then eventually he moved to a place called Oak Hill, where he would live until he bought this place. And it said he would actually stay at Oak Hill during the summers and come out here mostly during the winter. So also let you know his best friend, real close friend, was James Monroe. They were schooled together under the guy Reverend Archibald Campbell out there in Westmoreland County. And yeah, another thing to know, he's the only figure to have served in all three branches of government. He was Secretary of State, he was a member of Congress, and of course also Chief Justice. So I'll also tell you that there were 12 slaves that lived in the property. From what I understand, there was a kitchen and a laundry in the back, and supposedly I guess they lived in those buildings or something. Yeah, I can tell you real quick before I go in. Like I say, he died 1835. The house was willed to his daughter. His daughter rented it out. She actually just lived a block away, didn't want to live here. And then eventually in the late 1800s, it passed into her daughter's hands, or John's grandchildren. And when they passed away in 1909, like I say, the city took over. And then it was eventually purchased by the Preservation Society. Okay, and they've also got real strict rules about filming inside. She had told me no filming in the house, but the guy came out and said no filming on the grounds. Anyway, but she did let me take pictures inside, so I'll put some of those up. But yeah, as I get out of here, I'll tell you also his father, Thomas Marshall, he was a surveyor out in Culpeper, worked for Lord Fairfax. John Marshall actually did some time surveying. And he actually worked under George Washington, so that's something to note. And his mother was Mary Randolph Keith from the big Randolph family out of Tuckahoe. And her line of the family was actually kind of blackballed, so she didn't inherit any of the Randolph wealth. And yeah, I guess that's about it on John Marshall. And he's buried about 1.5 miles away at the Shaco Hill Cemetery. I'm gonna ride over there, see if I can get some footage. All right, well, the Shaco Hill Cemetery didn't work out. And it looked like a pretty cool place when I drove by, but there was nowhere to park, and it was in a section of town I wasn't familiar with. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.